Hello, this is Tom from Tabletop Tap Room, and today we are looking at the new D&D live play. So let's get right to it. But before we get there, let me just say, don't forget that like, subscribe, and bell icon that just help with building the channel and moving right along. So Wizards of the Coast has dropped a trailer for their own official live play, something very much in the vein of Critical Role. And if your first reaction is, oh, they're getting into the actual play space now, you're not alone. I think the bigger question is not what they're doing, but why and who is this really for? It's hard to look back at this move in a vacuum with the open gaming license controversy. And they didn't just ruffle feathers. They fundamentally shook trust of a large chunk of the older core D&D audience, from players to DMs to third-party publishers and creators who've been carrying the game for decades. So when Wizards suddenly pivots into something that looks very familiar, an in-house live play, it doesn't land as neutral. It feels strategic. Let's address the elephant in the room. For years, Critical Role, and by extension, Matt Mercer and Darrington Press, have essentially been the gold standard for D&D live play. Not just entertainment, but community building, storytelling, and brand identity. Wizards is stepping into that space now raises an obvious question. Is this an attempt to participate in that ecosystem or replace parts of it? Because those are very different intentions, and the audience can usually tell the difference. So who is this really aimed at? It's probably not the older core audience, people who were insulted by the, hey, old white guy, get out of D&D from the OGL fiasco. And, these people kind of run their own home brew and play older editions of D&D, or they play newer retro clones of older editions of D&D. An official corporate-produced live play might feel a bit too curated for them, too controlled. On the other hand, new players, especially those who came into D&D through streaming and podcasts, might be more receptive. For them, actual play is D&D culture. So an official show might feel like a natural extension of the brand. Then there's the broader pattern between things like Strixhaven and increased crossover with Magic the Gathering. Wizards has been leaning hard into brand synergy, blending audiences, cross-promoting IPs, tightening control over their ecosystem. It's not inherently bad, it's good business, but does it make this olive branch that has seemed to be offered to longtime fans a bit more plastic? Because on the one hand, you have messaging about reconnecting with the older core audience, and on the other, you have moves that suggest a focus on consolidation, branding, internal content pipelines, and those two directions don't always align. Is this a wise move? From a marketing standpoint, probably yes. Owning your own live play content means controlling narrative, tone, and monetization. It's a logical step. From a community trust standpoint, it's more complicated. If the goal is to win back older players, this alone won't do it. That audience is looking for consistency, openness, and support of the broader ecosystem, not just polished content. If the goal is to capture newer players and keep them inside the Wizards' walled garden, then that makes a lot of sense. At the end of the day, it feels a lot less like a heartfelt olive branch and more like a calculated expansion. Not necessarily a bad one, but not exactly the peace offering either that the OSR crowd was looking for. And whether it succeeds will come down to one thing. Do people see it as another story worth watching or just another piece of branding? I'm curious, where do you land on this? Does it feel like a genuine step forward or just Wizards trying to reclaim ground they lost? Let me know in the comments. I will certainly be checking out the live play when it drops. This is Tom for Tabletop Taproom. Thank you for watching it, and as always, keep on gaming.